So week to week, if you want advice about finance and investing for retirement so you can sleep at night, Darren Farwell, or a member of the Farwell team, joins us and does precisely that. And good morning, Darren.
Good morning, Marilyn.
Last Saturday, you told us Jocelyn's story and basically demonstrated how a woman can take charge of her finance with the guidance of a good financial planner, review her portfolio, control her risk, and make decisions so that she felt part of the investment strategy and she could sleep at night. I think her name was Jocelyn. And with that, I got hope that I could maybe do that. But what do you have for us today?
Well, thank you, Marilyn. Jocelyn did need some help. And this week, I'm going to provide 5 tips for finding the right financial advisor to work with. Because the right financial advisor can be your guide when you need them to help maximize gains and minimize risks at a level of comfort that lets you sleep soundly at night.
Sounds good to me.
Sleeping at night is important. In fact, medical science is saying more and more from what I'm reading how important a good night's sleep is. So anything that's interfering with that, we need to find a way to make it better. And finding a professional advisor, a guide like that, was important to helping Jocelyn sleep because at 74 years old, Jocelyn suddenly became a widow. And as suddenly, she found herself solely responsible for all her financial and investment decisions. And she's certainly not alone. Baby boomer women are forecast to outlive their male spouses by 10 to 15 years. And I can assure you that's not just a number. It's real. I see it playing out in the real world in my business on a regular basis. The fact is that women are significantly outliving their male spouses and, as a result, are looking for guidance in managing their finance and investments. But let's be clear, women like Jocelyn aren't looking for help due to a lack of competence. It's really a lack of confidence. And the lack of confidence comes from 2 issues. Number 1, many women say that the formal education they got growing up didn't prepare them well for finance and investments. And number 2, whether married or not, women have many demands on their time. They traditionally have taken on the majority of household duties, including childcare and chores, as well as paying bills and tracking spending. So it's not surprising to hear that 85% of women who are less involved in the long-term finances or investments prefer their husbands to take care of it. So when such a husband is suddenly absent from the scene, it makes sense that the appropriate choice is to seek trusted professional help, at least until she ramps up her own knowledge. Now, in the case of Jocelyn, she actually expressed little interest in becoming an expert. Jocelyn's objective was to, yes, ramp up her understanding a little bit through reading, education, and workshops, but nonetheless, she wanted to work with a professional. Her kids volunteered to help, but she wanted to maintain her independence and didn't want to be a burden. So any of our, from a women's perspective, listeners out there who have found yourself suddenly single or know of somebody who's become widowed, I have 5 tips for finding the right financial advisor.
And I'm waiting anxiously to write them down.
Get your pen out because they're long ones because it's a difficult decision. There's a lot involved, but I think these could help you get started. Number 1, what type of help are you looking for? Investment management alone, also known as asset management? Are you looking for advice on insurance? Is it just planning? Or is it a more comprehensive approach that can wrap it all up in one place, call it one-stop shopping, and that's wealth management? So you're looking for asset management, insurance, financial planning, or wealth management. Number 2, how involved in decision-making do you want to be? Do you wish to work collaboratively with your advisor? That is, you have a say in what investments get made or which don't at the micro level? Or are you looking to pass on that micromanagement, let your advisor look after that? This decision will have a significant impact on the kind of advisor and kind of firm that you actually speak to. Number 3, I emphasize this one a lot, qualifications. what are the advisor's official registrations and qualifications? And this is critically important because many of the higher level qualifications require a detailed background check. So you get an additional level of scrutiny in who you're working with. Number 4, have a list of questions ready in advance. So don't go into this interview and come up with the questions off the top of your head. Go in with very specific questions looking for specific answers, such as what services do you provide? The services that you're talking about, do you provide them once I start with you, or do you have someone on your team who provides them? What's the frequency of contact? What can you expect? I could do a whole segment on the kind of questions that you should ask, and if a listener would like to call or an email, be glad to share a bigger list. But it's important to go into the meeting with your list of questions ready. And number 5, it really has to be the right fit. A professional advisor can be an important, long-term, lifetime relationship. I have clients who have worked with me since 1986. We've seen our kids grow up, get married, and have their own kids together. Watch for these kind of clues. Does he or she listen carefully? Does he or she confirm their understanding back to you so you know that they heard you correctly? Do they speak a language you understand, or they speaking in jargon or speaking over your head for someone who's not from the industry? Simply speaking, do you just get along? It is important to like the person. Do you have a similar mindset? Are they transparent and upfront about costs? A lot of things that are really hard to quantify. But again, you need to evaluate after the meeting, how really did you feel about this person? And is this a person you could be in a long-term relationship with? And a lot of this stuff is discussed very well in Leslie's book, which we've talked about over the previous weeks, called Bank on Yourself. In her chapter, Working with Advisors. And in that chapter, she starts it off very well. There is a saying, it takes a village to raise a child. One could say the same thing about achieving financial independence. It may be your journey, and you may be making it on your own, but your chances of getting there efficiently and successfully are higher if you build a team of people who can help you along the way.
So, Darren, you've given us 5 things to think about. Time is running out. If someone wants to talk to you about being their financial advisor and getting a good night's sleep because the pressure is off, how do we reach you?
We can reach me by telephone, 416-863-7501. We also have a Facebook page, the Farwell Group, and you can arrange contact to our Facebook page as well.
So 416-863-7501. If you're losing sleep because you wonder if your money is working hard enough and if you've done it right, then explore the possibilities and call Darren Farwell or Leslie McCormick and the Farwell team and explore the possibilities. 416-863-7501, the Farwell Group on Facebook. Thank you, Darren, and I believe Leslie will be in next week, so I look forward to speaking to her and learning more about her book, Bank on Yourself.
You're welcome, Marilyn.
So now Dr. Betty Rosendahl of Thornhill Naturopathic is going to discuss gluten and celiac disease, and then we're going to talk rejuvenating your skin and get some myths dispelled about natural collagen with Jackie Donnell. I'm Marilyn Weston, and you're getting it straight from a woman's perspective exclusively here on Zoomer Radio.